No more banter without recording.
No, none of that loud.
Yeah, very good. So we're gonna go ahead with the same kind of icebreaker again as last week, and we're gonna talk about what your characters would do or what your characters think of something. Only we're not going to say what would your characters do if they were in Peru on an on an expedition and they discovered everything was to heck. Their mission leader was a heroin addict and there were vampires. We're not going to go there because that isn't going to help. Um, so I think where we'll kick this one off. The question I want to go with this week is, um, what does your character feel about the law? And when I say the law, I don't mean just the police. I mean kind of legal system, not right and wrong, but obedience to some set of rules defined by uh, uh, government, because that's super topical for the 1920s. Considering that Russia is in the transition from um, totalitarian monarchy to um, for the people by the people, and not quite yet descended into totalitarian other end of the spectrum. Um, America is very much beginning the whole wild freedom. People, well, certainly people with money can do all sorts of exciting things that they want to. Um, so it's very topical. So we'll start with um, Morven. What would Florence think about the law?
So in character. Um, so I have a strict moral code. I believe in doing what's right, and in many cases, the law and what is right align. And in those situations, I'm happy to obey the law, and I want to obey the law, and I encourage obeying the law. But I also acknowledge that in this modern world, that in many cases, the law does not align with what is right. And in those cases, I believe in fighting to change the law, and I believe in continuing to do what is right, even if that goes in breach of the law of the government. That's my 2 cents on the matter.
Okay, excellent. And Loveday Llewellyn, let's ask a member of the establishment, or a possibly a aspirational member of the establishment.
Well,
What do you feel about the law?
I love the law as long as it's working for me, of course. So I genuinely do trust policemen. If I have a problem, I'm going to go to a policeman because policemen help me and they like to help me. I believe that if a case goes to court, then it's going to be dealt with fairly, and that judges are very honourable people, and if any want to be my friends, that would be fine. And I generally think that institutions are wonderful things, you know. There's a reason people aspire to be part of them, and you know, I'm watching what is going on in Russia with some interest. It has thrown up a number of really marvellous jewels for sale, which has been rather nice. But also, if you remove that level of aspiration, then really, what do people have to strive for? You know, we need that level above us, so we can work hard to be up there, and that's definitely what my father has tried to do.
Okay, super. And Ruby, what do you think
Hello.
of the law?
I don't trust him. I like to whack on a smile and pretend that everything's okay and that I have all the faith in the world around them. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, turn on me. I think it's a very corrupt, and I don't have much trust and faith currently. But I keep an open mind, and if they can convince me otherwise, I'll be all for them.
Okay, super. Micheál O'Sullivan, what do we think about the law?
Well, Micheál O'Sullivan has had no direct experience of what you think of as policemen. He has known peelers, he has known the RIC, he has known the DMP, and now he's known the Black and Tans quite recently, and they're all a shower of ever-increasing bollockses. as far as he's concerned. There's no such thing as a social contract. They all have the royal in front of their names, even if they don't all say it. Where I come from, the police is just a tool to keep people in check. It's got nothing to do with, actually helping people out or making sure that people do right. So we sort of tend to enforce our own law, particularly the last couple of years, because most of the policemen have been scared to come out of the barracks. So we have a bit of a different system going on, but we wouldn't refer to ourselves as policemen back where I come from. The actual policemen haven't seen any for a while,
Very good. And Saorla, what would you think of the law? Valentine, obviously.
Well, in my experience, laws tend to be written by those who will benefit from them. So the people in charge, the people who come from a long line of people in power. So my belief is that we should stick to a moral code instead. I tend to have a moral code that I live by rather than worrying about what's legal, what's not illegal.
Super. So it seems like we have a fascinating group who are very open to colouring outside the lines as long as we're getting the picture right. Legal impressionists, maybe we could say. Let's just get close, and do the right thing. Okay, that's super. And more concretely, what do you think you feel about the idea that the law could be going hotel to hotel right now, looking for a group of foreigners who just knocked a police officer's mother down the stairs?
Well, first up, that was Florence.
It was an accident. I was in quite a terrible state if you hadn't noticed at the time.
Omnibus
I was not very
Florence.
well. I was not very well at all. It was entirely unintentional. I did say sorry. I am slightly thrown by the whole situation, and yes, there is some mild concerns about potential consequences of police coming and knocking.
I don't see why there should be a punishment. I mean, the old lady had been a bit of a nuisance. She was in the way on the stairs. What was she contributing to society anyway?
Yeah, you tell Fortunato.
Yes, well, you.
Okay, very good. So, as you all settled down that night after or that afternoon to regroup and catch your breath, there was quite an animated conversation, a lot of discussion and back and forth about what we might do next, and were you safe here firstly, and were you crazy to even consider continuing on with Larkin? Jackson seemed to be pushing to let's go. We can do some good here if we go fix the seal. There seemed to be a couple of different perspectives on the matter. Does anyone want to give me a little brief recap in your own perspective, your memory of the day so far, if we might say it that way, and just to give us a little refresher and just bring us back up to speed. Let's say Loveday probably has the best pair of rose tinted glasses on for this particular remembrance of the day.
Well, we had a charming walk over to the hotel to try and find Larkin. Very much enjoyed the streets and the sights and the sounds. A little bit frightened, of course, of the vampire, the Karen, lurking in the background, but I felt reasonably confident that we would find Larkin and get some answers. And then what I really remember next is I'm certain that Ruby and I must have sat down in that charming cafe at some point, because we sort of staggered out of it sometime later. And we found ourselves in an alleyway, and we saw the Karen coming down the fire escape. No, he was going up. He was going down it. He was going up it, I think, but then he saw us and he was very rapidly coming back down it. So we ran away. We pushed a large German man into his way, and we kept running, and the German man seemed to stop him, and we got back to our hotel, and I am still quite panicked about the whole thing, feeling slightly more hungover than I was 2 hours ago, which is always a really bad part of drinking, and coming rapidly to the conclusion that this Karen is probably not going to leave us alone, so we might have to go and do something about it.
Okay, very good. And then from the perspective of someone who might actually remember some events of the day, let's go to Florence. How did you feel? Sorry, it's hard to ask that question with a straight face. I'm sorry, Florence. How did you feel about the day so far?
So we went to the hotel where Larkin had been staying, and while the others were making a distraction, I snuck away. And we had heard that Larkin was supposed to be in his room, so I went up to the room. I tried a wrong door first. That wasn't Larkin, but then he pointed me towards Larkin's room.
A very pleasant
I
German gentleman, actually.
A very pleasant German. Oh my God! Sorry, I only just realised who that was. A very pleasant German gentleman told me pointed me in the direction of the right door, and then I I managed to pick the lock and go inside, and I found Larkin in an unconscious state. Um, he had a bottle of heroin, so I think he was fair to say in a medicated slumber, but wasn't razzable at all. He had a strange spiral tattoo across his chest, which I think had some significance. And then we're looking around his room, and then then Valentine found me, and we went into the adjoining room, where we found a mask, and and Valentine held the mask, and there was nothing wrong, but then I held the mask, and I had this really horrible vision that was very traumatic and very upsetting, in which I felt absolutely certain that I made a connection with some other being, and I felt I saw this vision of pyramids and tentacles and badness, and it was all extremely frightening, and something saw me and it knew me, and it was all extremely scary. And then I sort of descended into a babbling wreck. I was very upset at the time. I had a very unpleasant reaction to this particular experience. Um, and then uh, and then I was sort of out of it, but I found myself being dragged down the stairs, and then I bumped into someone, and I hit a poor old lady. I wasn't entirely conscious of what was happening. And I said sorry, but I think that she was quite hurt. And then we were running down the street, um, and then we were back here, and then we sort of all talked with each other, and we worked out what happened. That was sort of my perspective.
Okay, and Valentin, would you have a different perspective to that in any way, or does that very much gel with your memories?
Uh, I believe it is a similar telling of the story, but I believe Florence is not communicating the extent of Erin's insanity in the moment. Also, I did not appreciate when Micheál body slammed me into a room when I was simply trying to help Florence from not getting discovered by Larkin, and then I had to come up with an excuse as to why I was in the room in the first place. So, all in all, it was a very strange day that I felt didn't need to be that strange. But at least it was interesting.
Okay, good Good stuff. And speaking of that, Micheál, is that how you remember that moment in the corridor, or do you have
Yeah.
slightly different recollection of today?
No, totally. I body slammed her, which at the time seemed appropriate, you know. What can I say? I'm really, really sorry, you know. I had a logical progression that I was following. It just turned out to be wrong, which I had no way of knowing. So it's not. Well, it's not that I was wrong. I just didn't know that I in the context of incorrect information, I was correct. But
Oh, one should always gather his effects.
I'll do that next time. So
Okay, very good.
Excellent.
And last but not least, how does Ruby feel about the day? Is it a cocktail fueled haze, or is it a revisitation of trauma? Nope. Nope.
Uh-oh.
Okay, definitely
it was
traumatic.
that traumatic.
Yeah, it was that traumatic. We have
Extremely.
momentarily lost
Uh-oh.
uh, Ruby. Okay. Once Ruby gets back, we do a little intro scene, and then I think we're going to jump in. Would you guys have stayed? This is the key question for me. Would you guys have stayed in the hotel to chew the fat a little further? Um, excuse the term, considering we're dealing with Karasiri. Or would you have uh, decamped to a flop house or hotel or whatever other kind of accommodations you could find, or somewhere unknown to the others, um, in order to have your catch up and debrief and plan for next steps?
No, I believe that given that the police are now involved, that it might be better that we go elsewhere.
I do think on the police, I think we could explain to the police. I think they'd believe us. I don't think the police should be a problem. I'm sure we could come to some sort of arrangement. Places like this, you know, the right amount of
Yeah,
money
I
can
no.
sort
I
it out.
don't think so. I
No.
think that is a terrible
No.
conclusion
Well-
based on zero evidence.
No.
Well, evidence of my life so far. Police always believe me whenever I say anything to them. Well, anyway,
you talk to
I
them about their mothers, like. Because Fortunato met us a few times yesterday. You know.
Well, I don't really care about their mothers, to be quite honest with you. But I do think it's probably not a good idea to stay somewhere where the vampire might be able to find us, because he doesn't really strike me as a fellow that's going to give up easily, considering I've already shot him once and he's still coming after us somehow.
Apologies, I may need to compose myself a couple of times in this session. I'm losing it already. Okay, so Ruby, what we'd jumped into there in absence, I'd asked Ruby, was the day a bit of a cocktail-fueled haze for her, or was it a revisitation of past traumas? And obviously it was pretty traumatic, because she was in a bit of a frozen stare moment. At which point I saw my
Scene-fitting.
Discord message and realized you were gone.
Well,
Um,
that's accurate, to be fair. Very accurate of what I was feeling at the time as well. Just a blank stare at the entire day. I think the alcohol definitely helped to numb the fear of the majority of that day.
Okay, and then I'd ask the group, given that, because I'm gonna cut away out of character above the table. I'm gonna cut away. I'm gonna do a bit of an intro scene of somewhere else, sometime else, and we're we'll come back. But I'm just trying to find out and work out where we're gonna come back to. And I was saying, when you came back from your when you come back and kind of had your animated initial conversation that you had with Jackson, when you realized you weren't all aligned on where to go, what to do next, would you have decamped and kind of moved somewhere else, considering maybe someone's looking for you, Or would you have just gone, look, let's settle down here and solve it and get to the bottom of it and chew the fat until we've worked out what our course of action is? The majority consensus so far seems to be, well, we'd have got out of Dodge because the police might be looking for us. One outlier in this conversation seems to think that the police will be fine if they come. I'll just talk to them. They always listen to me. Everything will be okay. Um, I leave it to you to see if
Yeah.
you
I
can
think I got it.
work out who that is. Yeah. Where would Ruby sit on waiting for the police?
Oh, pardonnez-moi, il y a un homme aux portes avec ma cuisine.
Oh, cool. Okay.
To do it in character.
Enjoy.
Go for it.
Enjoy.
Very good. Very good.
I think Ruby. I think she admires Loveday's view on and the innocence that she holds. But for Ruby, I think it'd be a case of, oh, we need to get out of it. We need to get a wiggle on. I don't want the police to get anywhere close to me and the gang, obviously. So yeah, I think Ruby would want to daddle and hopefully just drag Loveday along with her.
Loveday
Okay,
would
very
go
good.
if Ruby
God
asked.
bless.
Okay, super stuff. I'm going to do a cutaway. I nearly said Valentine. Sarah, if you need to eat,
Oh, no. It's
you
grand.
sure?
Yeah.
You go wait a couple of hours and have your dinner after.
I'll stuff some in my face during the break.
Yeah, okay, great. But I was gonna say, while I'm doing a cutaway, etc., because I can always throw up a picture, if you want to screen blank and keep your audio on to get yourself an opportunity to have something to eat, go ahead.
Oh, no.
It won't be that long. I'm not gonna bore everyone with the cutaway, but I am. Yeah, we will come back to that in 1 second. Okay, so. We pan in over New York City. It's cold. It's very cold. Quite late in the afternoon, early evening. The dark is starting to creep in. Flurries whistle and whirl down the streets. We sail in the end window of a corridor in a hotel. A group walks down that corridor, conferring, wondering what could have happened, why he's delayed. It's not like him. They walk down toward room 410. The chat is good. It's a while since they've seen each other. But there's also a strange feeling of tension. It's a while since they've seen each other, and things are a little uncomfortable after last time. They've been in contact. They've exchanged letters. Maybe even met up once or twice. But they've never really talked about what happened in full detail. They get to room 410, and just as they're walking up to the door, they hear a crash inside. Quick look around, try the door. Someone pulls out lockpicks. Someone else puts his shoulder to the door. One way or another, the door slams open. And all we hear next is a scream. And we cut away back to Lima. Still that muggy, sweltering, humid heat of the wet summer season in Lima. The day is still warm and dry, if a bit moist. Um, our group have decamped from the hotel Maori. Um, they are now uh, some distance away across town in a smaller, more inconspicuous hotel where perhaps fewer questions will be asked. They haven't taken rooms yet. Luggage is in the porter's closet, and our group of 6 are sitting around a small coffee table in the back of the hotel bar, listening to some quiet honky tonk jazz in the background as they um, try and come to a consensus as to uh, what are we actually going to do. Um, does any of this make sense at all? And as we do, we cut into Jackson just shaking his head. Uh, I don't get how we can all 6 people. I can. There's more than 4 different perspectives here, and it's not that complicated to me. Um, Ruby, we haven't heard anything from you. What do you think we should do? Are you up for coming and trying to solve this thing with the temple with me? Or
Yeah, I'm ready. I think we need to. I think we need to go. I don't want to be hanging around for any vampires and Karens to come get us. I think we go now.
he still hasn't adjusted to this Karen's thing. Um, he seems to be writing it off to British inability to say foreign words. So he kind of glosses on over it. Good. Okay. Well, I'm glad someone's with me. Micheál, oh, what's stopping us?
What do you mean what's stopping us?
You just you seem hesitant, man.
Look, it seems awful dangerous. Do you know what I mean? There's a promise of gold, by the sound of it. Artifacts, treasure, the whole shebang. I mean, but we've seen what this fella can do, and as far as I can see from the look of the note, there could be 3 more like him. He's got a vendetta against us now. I'm just not sure. I mean, what do you think? Is it?
And Jackson kind of looks around at the other 3. Yeah. Well, what do you all think? He
Well,
glances at Florence, and then kind of gives up a little bit, and turns back to Loveday.
Well, I'm with Ruby. I mean, of course, darling, of course I'm with you. But I have been thinking about this anyway. And it seems to me that this fellow, we've shot this Karen once, very successfully, I might add. I'm a very good shot. My father trained me very well. And he's fine. He's walking around like there's nothing wrong. So I don't think running away is going to do anything. I think if he's really marked us, he's coming for us. He'll come across the Atlantic. He'll find us wherever we are. So I think the only real choice is to stop him. And clearly shooting him's not going to work. And that's really all I've got in my back pocket. So I think we ought to go and try this seal idea. No one seems to have a better idea. So I say we see if we can get that professor to go with us. I don't trust Larkin for a second. And we'll head on up to that temple and we'll sort it out. And I tell you what, I think we all ought to go because I think we ought to stick together as a group. And I'm very happy to throw any money at anybody who's feeling like they need a little persuasion. And what else could I offer? I'll have my father send you one of his guns because he makes very good guns, and then we'll all be safe. I mean, they won't get here in time for us to go to the temple with, but they'll be here when we get back, and then we'll get back. It'll be wonderful. I think it's worth doing.
So what do you mean your father makes guns? What does that mean?
Llewellyn, darling, Llewellyn. We make. I mean, Llewellyn, as in
you
the big
related to Henry
factories and the
Llewellyn?
munitions. He makes many guns, yes, and shells and all sorts.
The main supplier to the British Army, Llewellyn.
That's the one, yes. Oh, you have heard of him. Good. I was a little worried for a second there.
Oh, I wouldn't know too much about it, but I think I might come after all. Actually,
You say that you were at them with a bullet, but are you sure that you hit him? I mean, none of the rest of us saw it.
I saw.
You might have
Darling, I've
missed.
won a shooting competition. I definitely shot him where I intended
That
to.
doesn't mean that you can hit a moving target.
She shot.
He
She
well,
definitely
first
shot.
of all, I could. But also, he wasn't moving. He was crouched in the window like some sort of horrible bird, and I just shot him straight through the chest. And it did nothing. Ruby will back me up. It did nothing at all, and it definitely hit him.
You shot him through the chest, so you saw the bullet go in and out?
Well, I couldn't see it go out because he was blocking me, but I saw it go in. I mean, it might still be in there. Who knows? He could do anything. He could just be carrying around a bullet, and I don't think it'd make any difference, to be honest.
It just seems unlikely that someone could survive being shot in the chest. Maybe we should just try and shoot him again.
Does anyone want to give me a psychology check while we're talking? Please. Not you, Florence. Anyone but Florence.
Anyone but me. Okay.
Valentine. As you're speaking, Valentine, you know, you accustomed to making eye contact with people around the table when you're talking, and you kind of glance eye to eye to each of the people around the table, and you make eye contact with Florence. You move on, and then something in the back of your mind just goes, Florence isn't okay right now. Just there's a fixed stare, an obvious something wrong. Do you emote? Do you backtrack and try and make a connection and see if she's okay, or do you just carry on?
I believe I would like Florence's opinion. Florence, what do you think?
Well, I'm rather torn because that thing was evil. That was one of the most awful experiences of my life, and so naturally I'm rather frightened to carry on. But equally, I feel completely certain that if we allow Larkin to go on without us, if we let him go and take that gold from that pyramid, that then truly awful things will happen. And I believe that 100% to be true, with all the conviction that I have. I know that to be true. And so I think we should go. I think we should stop the seal. And I think it's going to be dangerous. I think it's going to be extremely dangerous. And I think we need to look after each other. Because this is a million miles from what I signed up for. I don't know about any of you, but I think we have to go.
While you're speaking, Jackson he's taken a breath a couple of times as if he's going to say something, and then a look of kind of a very empathic look across his face, and he holds himself back from speaking, and then he waits. And now you're finished. He's I respect your courage, Miss Florence, but I do ask. I will ask. As one of the people saying we should push forward. The question does come up though. Do we push on and go to Larkin and pretend like everything's okay, or do we try and get there before him?
I think he's going to go whether or not we're with him. I think it's better if we can keep a closer eye on him.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, Larkin will know if we are also going, and keep your enemies close, I believe. We're if something happens and we need to disperse of him, easier to do it if he's right next to us.
Not sure we're 100% on on the same page there, but I like the I like the gumption. Yeah, yeah. He seems a little wrong-footed and kind of tapers off.
So are we all agreed?
If you feel strongly about going to Larkin, then let's do it. But I tell you what, if that Karen turns up, then I'm not having it. I'm not going. I'm sorry. I can't see him pretending the way we're pretending. So I think we should. I don't know. Shoot him again, maybe.
Well, let's say that you did shoot him, and he did not die, and he is in fact a 400-year-old vampire. Perhaps we should gather supplies that may help us with a vampire.
What helps against these things? Do we know?
Jackson?
Folklore.
The man?
We saying from a folklore perspective or from a Mr. Stoker's perspective?
Carrie Siri perspective.
Well, the only thing I can think of is that piece of gold that you've got in your suitcase, Miss Valentine. That piece of gold seemed to do some damage to him when he tried to steal it, didn't it?
Potentially, I don't know for certain that it was him, but what are we going to do? Just throw it at him?
Not a bad idea.
Let's do it.
But what about the tropes like the holy water and
Garlic.
garlic? I love the garlic.
Well, you know what? As we're not dealing with the European Bram Stoker Transylvania legend here, maybe the right person to ask is my friend that I mentioned earlier on. I've made the acquaintance of a woman who is an expert in local folklore.
Nayra,
exactly. Yeah, she's a bit of a character, but once we get to Puno, we could look her up and see if we can find out anything else that might be effective against these creatures. I didn't bother to ask because when she was warning me against the Karasiri, I didn't particularly believe her. I thought it was. I'm sorry, Miss Loveday. I'm not saying I believe now. I just if this is real, she's the one who'll have the answers. And if it's not, well, to Miss Loveday's point, if he's that bad of a chap, a few bullets in the jungle might really be our. And you can see the internal struggle as he says this. Might really be our best solution.
Does anyone else have weapons with them?
There's a few of us armed.
Big knives.
I think we've
Grenade.
got a few firearms
We've got it covered.
on our party.
I might just go out and buy a wooden stake or two. Just in case, can't hurt.
Just steal some legs from this table. It's wooden.
Valentine, I love the way you think.
I think that is a compliment.
Maybe not before we stay the night. I'd
Yes,
rather not run away from
maybe
another
don't.
hotel.
We just got to this one.
So are we agreed that we're meeting Larkin in the morning then? Is that what we're saying?
It seems so wild as that appears.
I'd like to know, I'd like to know what exactly is between him and Mendoza,
It's I'm curious why Mendoza would have been sneaking back up the fire escape.
Instead of coming in the door, like.
Perhaps he did not like the old lady that Florence murdered.
Can we not use that terminology, please? It's a very upsetting experience.
It's factual.
Well, I mean, if we're going to meet Larkin tomorrow, are we going to sit down with him and say, "Look, if we want to know where your man is and what's going on, he tried to have a go at us," or are we just going to say nothing? Or
You could perhaps avoid the vampire allegations and simply say we saw him climbing up the fire escape and we believe him to be dangerous.
Valentine, depending how much Larkin remembers from your meeting in the room, he might question that a little, considering right now he believes that you were there for an assignation with Mr. de Mendoza. Um, but that on its own could be oh well, things didn't go as we'd hoped, and he might be upset with me. But certainly we think he's crooked and he was climbing up fire escapes. Might not gel 100% with. But you're the only one who knows that now.
There
Well,
may be a problem with pointing the finger, seeing as Larkin caught me in Mendoza's room, and I had to pretend that we were friendly.
That doesn't help.
Ew.
what did you say?
I do not remember. It was something about he asked me to fetch something or drop off something, or I don't know. Larkin seemed to buy it.
Oh, you just went friendly, like I thought it was a euphemism.
What does that mean?
It doesn't matter. It's a language thing. I thought you meant like friendly in inverted commas, but you didn't.
Friendly in inverted commas.
She's French, dear.
I'm sorry. I'm Irish. Don't worry about it.
And alienate every nationality in the world at this stage. Okay, so Jackson says, from what you've said about Larkin and the way he seemed at dinner, I don't know if he's going to be too focused. I think his only obsession is getting to that pyramid. Is he going to care who's along? Who knows? We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Depends on how many of the drugs he takes. Which how was he going to get drugs in the jungle? You mentioned that anyway?
Briefly. You said something. He's taken heroin.
He was completely unconscious, and there was a bottle of heroin in the room, and I knocked loudly on the door before entering, and he was completely undisturbed. When we entered the room, he was clearly completely out of it, and there was heroin. So yes, that is a rational assumption.
All right. Well, maybe that plays in our favor. I don't know. I do understand now. I get more why you guys were so unsettled about this whole thing. Okay, I'm gonna try and get an early night. I'd like to get some rest after the thrills of the day, and I wasn't even there for any of the exciting stuff. But you guys feel free to continue without me. He tells you, he goes up to the counter, checks himself in. He books 4 rooms besides his own. No, 3 rooms, but 4 rooms including his own. And he comes back and gives Micheál a key. He gives Loveday a key, and he gives Florence a key. And he says, I was thinking, I got twin rooms. I was thinking, Florence, you and Valentine could maybe bunk together, and Loveday, you and Ruby, just safety in numbers. Have someone there to watch your back. Micheál, I didn't know if you'd want to have a roommate, so I didn't presume to lumber you with myself.
Okay, fine with me.
Good night, folks. And
Night.
he goes and grabs
Good night.
his bag and trundles up.
Bonne nuit.
Well, I'm going to stay up and keep watch for a while.
Keep watch of where?
Here.
We already know that the man can climb the fire escape, so I don't think he's coming in the front door.
Well, I'm not going to have a debate with you about it, Valentine. I'm just going to stay up on watch for a little while, if that's okay.
I'm not having this debate. I am. That was an exhausting day. I'm going to go to bed.
Okay. So, Florence, you're heading up to the room. Valentine, are you going to go with her, or are you going to stay around for a bit?
I'll stay around for a few minutes.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I'm not with you.
This is where I get attacked, isn't it?
Micheál says the quiet part out loud. Okay, and so you all sit, slightly uncomfortable, as Florence goes up the stairs. You take your bags up with you, I assume. A porter comes, and it's not that downbeat of a hotel. There is a bellboy. He comes and he helps you carry your bags up. Stands a little expectantly at the door, shuffling kind of from foot to foot, as you get yourself settled and turn around a few times.
Oh, I give him a tip. Give him a tip.
Muchas gracias. And he scuttles off down the stairs. And you close the door, Florence. And almost immediately, exhaustion starts to take you. You kind of probably lay yourself down on the bed to let the stress fade away. And as you do, there's a thump on the floor beside the bed.
I'm going to look to lean over.
You're not sure how it
what that
got
was.
there, but that mask just fell off the bed
Oh, no.
from beside you. You must have had it in your hand when you came in the room, but you don't remember holding it. It's lying there. The reflective side is down, but the mask itself is lying there, staring up at you.
Well, I'm not touching that thing again. Most absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Do you stay on that bed, or do you move over
No,
to the other bed?
I'm immediately getting up, moving over to the other bed. Absolutely not. Not touching it, like moving while staying as far away from it as possible. I'm going to get into the other bed and pretend that did not happen.
Okay. And downstairs, a bit of an uncomfortable silence still, as you all sit and sip at the last bits of that round.
Valentine, I'm sorry, all right? Sorry for pushing you. Sorry, that sounded a bit aggressive. I'm sorry for sounding aggressive.
You have a lot of aggression that you need to work on.
But that's the point I'm making. Do you know? So you can show me a little understanding.
I did not say
That's
anything.
why I did it. Like, I just
There
wanted.
were no
I was doing.
accusations.
Oh fuck. Anyway, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I would like a drink, actually. Is there anyone working in this bar?
I'll get you one. I'll find it. Right. Let's get a drink for the lady.
Thank you.
So Micheál heads up to the bar to roust someone out to serve a drink or two. Loveday and Ruby, the tension eases a tiny bit as Micheál leaves the table.
Now we've addressed the elephant in the room. What are we doing, Loveday? We head to bed? Or are we sticking around to see this awkward conversation play out?
Well, I am so tired. I do think we should go to bed, but it really seems a shame to miss this, doesn't it?
I was thinking the
Valentine is
exact
sitting
same
right
thing.
there.
Drinks.
Valentine,
very
you must go
strange
easier
people.
on the poor fellow. He's trying so hard.
All I wanted was a drink. I don't know where all this aggression is coming from. I was not planning to have a deep conversation.
You must always be prepared for deep conversations. That's how we make friends with each other.
Lord. Oh, I thought how you two made friends was to get how do you say inebriated. So you get there.
It doesn't
Oh,
hurt.
we're not drinking now.
Okay. So why don't you start a deep, meaningful conversation?
Well, Loveday cannot think of a single thing apart from having a drink now. Well, what is your PhD on? What are you studying?
Ah, my PhD. Well, as I said to Larkin, I was hoping to use this expedition to, how you say, make the PhD more interesting. I mean, a lot of the things that have been discovered recently are not that exciting, and there's a bit of a competition at the university in terms of funding. So this is shaping up to be very interesting, actually. But yes, it's all about ancient civilizations and recent discoveries that will teach us more about how they lived. It's the easiest way I can see it in Anglais.
Well, that is fascinating. Isn't that fascinating, Ruby? I think that's just fascinating.
100%. I'd love to know more about you, Valentine, especially your lack of trust in others. I mean, we've told you multiple times that Loveday saw a vampire, yet you seem to really struggle to comprehend that fact. Have we done something to give you some distrust? Or is it just...
That's an interesting question. How I see it is that there should be evidence for things, and you seem very nice people, but I do not know you very well. So I do not know if you are prone to how you say,
lies?
hallucinations? I was going to say hallucinations. Given that Florence has already had a minor breakdown, I do not know why. The mask look perfectly normal to me, so I would just like some evidence, maybe a shirt with a bullet hole, some blood, a mangled corpse, evidence
That's
of
about
a
when
shooting.
Micheál comes back with the drinks. At the mangled
There we
corpse
go.
comment.
Lovely. Lovely.
This guy gets it.
No, I'm not with you at all. I'm sorry.
All right then.
No. The way I'd see that now is if you take everything in the world as 100% of things, you'd only be able to get proof for about 5% of it. So you live in a world that's only 5% of the world. Whereas I live in about 30% because I believe in all sorts of stuff.
Where are you getting these percentages from?
That's maths.
What?
That's what that is. If you're going to stick to what can be proven, you're missing out on an awful lot of good, very interesting stuff.
Such as?
That's all. Banshee.
The Banshee.
Look, that's a side thing.
What?
You have your own in French as well. You've got your ghouls and goblins. You've got all sorts of stuff that science hasn't gotten around to proving yet. All sorts of medical cures that they haven't got around to proving yet. But they're still real. Do you know what I mean? Just because you don't know about it doesn't mean that you have to be putting the girls through the ringer. Sorry, the women. I'm so sorry. I'll try harder.
I didn't put anyone through the ringer. You're very aggressive with me, and I have no idea why.
No.
I've.
Oh,
done anything
Valentine,
to
give
really-
the poor fellow a break.
Would you drink the drink? Like?
And look,
I'm
isn't
just
that
going
wonderful?
to,
We're friends.
Oh Lord, I'm just going to sip my drink. Well, you 2, 3. Have a deep conversation. Micheál is back.
Oh,
Let's
come on.
have a deep conversation
Valentine.
with him.
Come on. We've been through a lot together now at this stage. Come on. You know,
Come on, where?
easy.
Are we moving hotels?
We already did.
You said
Give us a bit of French culture or something. Give us a poem. Come on. Cheer us up.
poem. Oh, I don't think I know any poems. I only did the prayers in school, and they're not very exciting. You tell us a poem. You seem like a cultured man. Tell us
Tu t'en vas à la dérive sur la rivière de souvenirs. That's one I made up myself. I have a wee few words because I was over there shooting at the Germans in France.
Oh.
So I know how to ask for food and
Très bien.
which way is the front line type stuff, do you know? Où est la ligne de la front? That type of stuff.
Very impressive.
Oh, thank you. Sorry I brought it up because I feel like I put myself on the spot now, you know?
You did? Tell us more. Did you shoot the Germans?
I did. I shot a few and they shot back and I decided to go the other way. That's what I did. You'll have to forgive me, those of you who are fond of the king. It just didn't suit me. I had other things to do.
Well, I will have to think about that one, but I think we probably can still be friends, don't you worry.
Let's stop.
We're all friends here. Valentine, isn't that right?
We? I'm sure.
It seems like
You're all the
nothing phases
friends.
you.
I wouldn't say nothing phases me.
I'm just admiring.
For instance,
I'm just admiring how calm and collected you are. That's all.
Isn't too much to be worried about just yet.
Okay.
There are hints of things to be worried about. For example, that student at the university who was dead in the basement.
Yes.
Not a good way to die, from the looks of things. So, I hope none of us die that way.
That's nice. That's good to know.
But aside from that, all we've had is a large man running at us. And hopefully he just runs somewhere else.
Micheál, you're good at running, right?
I'll run from anything. What are we talking about? Sorry, I drifted for a second.
And we leave our little group over the drinks downstairs. And upstairs, Florence, you've got comfortable. It took you a little bit of time to get your mind away from what was just over the other side of that bed. Strange feeling for a moment that you wanted to go and look at it again. But you really definitely don't want to, so you absolutely didn't. But it did creep back in every now and again, a little intrusive thought, but What if it looks different now? What if there's something else there? What if he wants to talk? Whoa, no, no. I don't want him to talk to me.
Nope, 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 nope,
So
nope, 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 nope,
you
nope. No, definitely,
got yourself
definitely not.
settled. Maybe he took out something to read. Probably not the story of Gaspar Figueroa. Probably something light that would just distract you. And you managed to doze off. Nice sleep. No dreams. Nothing. You know. No floating through the sky and looking at the tree lines or um, hovering over pyramids or looking at deep dark black holes or anything like that. Just calm sleep until you kind of wake with a start. There's a figure sitting on the end of your bed, immaculately dressed in a business suit, very dark skinned, almost ebony skinned man with hair neatly swept back, his fingers steepled. He looks at you as you start awake. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you.
Who are you? Why are you in my room?
It's all right, you're dreaming. You don't need to worry about this.
Oh, that doesn't make me feel any better.
Oh, that's not exactly what I'm here for.
Why are you here?
What's your name?
Why do you want to know?
Well, surely it's polite to introduce yourself to someone when you come
I don't know who
knocking
you are, and you are in my
and
room.
creeping into their domain.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you really not an initiate?
I don't know what that means.
Are you a servant of one of the others?
I'm a servant of no one.
Oh, good. Oh, I love that. Very well. And his face peels apart, turns back on itself. His skull breaks through his skin. His jaws open wide and his whole body lunges in towards you. And you start awake. Sit up in your bed, looking around. There's no one there. You're alone. It's okay. It's alright. You put your hand on the pillow beside you and check. Yes, the mask is right here. It's okay. And then you knock the mask down to the floor again.
Why is it on my bed? I put it over there. I knock it off the bed. It's just a dream. Very, very bad dream. I wonder where Valentine is, if she's still not in the room. Maybe look at a clock if there's one in the room.
It's still late evening, early night. It's dark outside, but you wouldn't say it's why hasn't she come up to the room yet? Although you're not feeling great, and they know you're not feeling great. Why has she not come up to the room yet?
I, after that, maybe don't want to be alone, so I perhaps put on something for going out, and I go looking
Okay.
for
So
her.
you go head out and go down to the stairs. Okay. You walk over. You open the door of the hotel room, and he's right there. Are you still here? You haven't gone yet. And this time you wake screaming, in a sweat. You put your hand out in a panic to check. The mask's not there.
That's not there.
No.
Okay.
Do you want to look and see
Okay.
if it's where you left it?
I want to check.
It's not there.
It's not there. It's not there. Okay, well now I definitely want to go talk to the others because this is not normal. This is definitely not normal. So I am going to go
You
find the
walk over to
others.
the door of the room, you put your hand on the door handle, and you find yourself frozen for a moment. You kind of can't bring yourself to open the door. Could you roll a sand check for me, please?
That's just
Yep,
tapping
please.
sanity, isn't it?
Could you lose 1 point of sand? And we'll come back to you in a few minutes. Unless there's anything else deep that you guys want to get into and talk about, we'll say you enjoy another round of drinks, chit chat about trivialities, and then gradually drift off. I think Loveday and Ruby, probably you're the first to go up. And then Valentine, do you go up, or are you going to stay as long as Micheál's keeping watch? You're going to keep him company.
I should probably go and check on Florence, make sure that she is not lying in bed wearing the mask or something. So enjoy the watch.
Yeah, that worries you a little bit.
And
That statement. Why whom? That's not a great idea. Why would that come to mind? Um, but yeah, Valentine, you going up? Okay, Micheál, you wait. Are you gonna spend long down there, Micheál? Are you gonna?
Well,
It's
what
probably
time
about
is it now?
9:30.
Oh, yeah, I'll spend a while then. I'll go till at
Okay.
least 1 in the morning, I'd say, and I'll have a
Okay.
look around
Just
outside
making
as
sure
well.
there's no Karasiri coming, no cops coming, nobody coming looking for you. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I guess.
Valentine, you go up. Hootle on to the door of the room. You open the door, and Florence is sitting on the nearest bed to the door, staring, kind of at waist level, staring at the door, kind of where the door handle is, with a fixed, slightly panicked look on her face, and she seems to be clutching something to her chest.
Is there a problem? Was someone trying to come in?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think it was just a bad dream after a bad day. But I thought there was someone in the room, but I think I was just sleeping. I thought that the mask was here, and then it wasn't here. Um, and there was someone, um, and he was in the room, but I think it was just a bad dream. Maybe I shouldn't
Her
be
hands are
alone right
still
now.
kind of
Maybe that's a
clutched
bad
around
idea.
together at her midriff.
What do you have there?
What do
You
I
look
have?
down.
In your hands?
You just have the front of your shirt kind of wrapped up, bundled up, and you're clutching and holding on to it as if it's something kind of rounded and as if there's something solid in it, but there isn't. When you there's nothing there.
Okay, well, I dropped my shirt.
You're not pregnant, are you?
No, no, no.
Would not be a problem.
No, but I'm not. I'm really not. Um,
But
um,
how about you go back to bed, and I will check the room to make sure there is no one in here. Okay?
okay.
So I'm going
Okay.
to check
Okay.
the wardrobe.
So first
And,
place you go,
we'll,
you go to the
check
wardrobe,
under the
you open the
beds.
wardrobe, so kind of slightly, you open it, and all of Morven's stuff is perfectly neatly set up and hung on hangers and folded neatly on the little shelves, and the shoes are put lined perfectly up, and on one of the shelves the mask is just standing, looking straight out at you. Takes you aback for a moment. Like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's a weird place to put that.
It's a very odd place. I might cover this mask up with a pair of underwear.
Freaking
or something.
throw it out the window. I don't know. Get rid of it. Or maybe not. I don't know, but it's bad. Keep it away from me.
Okay, we just chuck it in the back behind the socks.
I didn't even remember bringing
You
it.
don't even remember unpacking your bags, Florence.
I don't remember unpacking my bags. I didn't unpack my bags. I just came in and I sat on the bed.
I don't think anyone would have unpacked your bags for you, unless it was an hotel porter, and that's what's.
No, but I said goodbye to the porter. I gave him a tip, and he went off. And I didn't do that. I didn't do that.
Well, I don't think the masks did it for you.
Okay.
It's okay.
Let's both go to
you're
bed.
Inside. How about I tuck you into bed? How about that?
Okay. Let's both go.
Florence doesn't strike me as the kind of person who particularly appreciates being managed.
No.
Trying to be as understanding as possible. But,
Yes. You're trying to be nice. I appreciate that you are trying to be nice. I
don't
would
seem
rather
like you
not
do.
be alone. Let's both go to sleep. And
Okay.
yeah.
Your face is doing something funny. What's?
Nothing. It frustrates me that you clearly do not believe me, but that I'm not going to convince you. It appears apparent.
Florence.
So
Well, see,
let's just leave that
things
one for
happen
now.
when you're tired. You unpack your bag. You leave a fork in the bin. You know, it's things you do when you're tired.
Can
Florence,
I?
can you roll a psychology check for me, please? Okay. This is a particularly frustrating person. You've dealt with frustrating people before, but this is trying and taxing you a little. Okay, we'll leave those two ladies to come to terms with how they're going to survive together for the night, and we'll go to Micheál. Micheál, you actually have quite a nice time. A couple of people come in. There's a bit of chat. No English people, which is always a bonus. Couple of tourists from Spain. Couple of quite pleasant locals come in for drinks.
So are you implying that
I'm implying that Micheál might be a scooch biased against English people.
Not at all. Not at all. If the king walked in, there'd be an issue, or the British Army themselves. But I'm fine with these guys. Absolutely. Sure, I was fighting loads. I'm sorry. I mean, engage me home mode. Sure, I was fighting alongside tons of them back in France. Sound lads.
Okay.
Sound
very
lads.
good. But no, a couple of nice people, tourists from Spain. Nice, a few nice locals come in for a couple of drinks. Seems like there's a bit of music on in the hotel some evenings. It goes on till quite late. You don't kind of kind of sit in amongst and get into party mode and throw back a few pints with the locals or listen to the music or anything, because you're keeping watch. But it's nice to have a little bit of a chat and be sociable and say hello. So you actually have quite a relaxing time. It's pleasant, good, and then eventually you go up to your room, settle down, everything's great, go to sleep, get a nice rest. Loveday and Ruby, you go to bed. It's been an okay evening after a quite pleasant day, except for a few moments. Feeling pleasantly buzzed from the continual day drinking and the extra cocktails to settle yourselves with very little for dinner. So you settle down, go to bed. Unless there's anything deep you want to discuss, Ruby, anything you want to raise with Loveday?
I mean, I wouldn't mind asking Loveday what she thinks of the group so far.
I think they're who we've got, so I'm trying not to think any more than that.
Not being picky at all. Just take what we can get. I mean, I've spotted. There's just something different about Valentine. I can't quite put my finger on it. But you know the story she said about the PhD. I think it seemed a little. I don't know. A little too convincing. Like she was trying to prove something to us.
Now that is interesting. I didn't think anything of it at the time, but she didn't really give us I suppose she did give us a subject, didn't she? The sort of classical civilizations. But I will say, every PhD student I've ever known has been absolutely insufferable about the exact topic of their dissertation, and she was quite vague.
Yes, there we go. There we go. Just something I've spotted. And poor Florence. I mean, she's been through it, hasn't she?
Poor Florence. It's really poor Florence. I think we ought to keep an eye on her. I'm worried about her now.
You and me both. You and me both.
Okay.
And Ruby has nothing to comment on Micheál. Just that, she thinks that the tension between Micheál and Valentine is hilarious, and she loves it and wants to see more of it.
She's loving the drama.
Loving the
Okay,
drama.
so we say you ladies have a little bit of chat and get settled, and it's quite a nice way to settle down for the night. And this is what having a companion is all about. Not only that, it keeps your father off your back. It's fantastic. And you settle, and you both fall asleep. And it's dark, and you're running. You're running through the countryside. It's cold, wet English fields, scrambling over a wall. You run, you can barely breathe, you've been running so long. You just come to your senses. You're panting, you're panicking. You look down. Your dress are pretty much torn to shreds. You've mud and dirt all over your legs. Your feet are cut and bloody and freezing. Your hair is hanging in matted tangles all around your face. You can't believe it. You can't believe what you just saw. Your breath comes faster and faster, and you're hyperventilating. You wake up clutching, pulling, clawing at the sheets to get them off you. You almost scream. You kind of bolt upright in the bed. Loveday, you look around. You don't know what's going on. Why? Where is this dream? You've never had a dream like this, Loveday. It just out of nowhere. You don't know what. And Dakara, Ruby, kind of you kind of come to groggily a little bit. You've been in an unusually relaxing and deep sleep, and Loveday is sitting bolt upright in the bed, staring around. There's a faint light coming in through the not quite closed curtains, and she's breathing very, very hard and fast, clutching her sheet around her as if she's kind of in a moment of terror. Do you let her know you're awake, or do you just wait and go
Yeah,
back to sleep?
I rushed to her
Okay.
aid instantly, straight out of bed, over there, holding her, wondering what's going on.
think I've just had a nightmare. I don't have nightmares. What's going on?
I mean, that seemed worse than a nightmare. It was like you were reliving something.
Oh, sorry, microphone. But it's like nothing I've ever experienced before. I was running through a field and I was so very afraid. I've never been so afraid in all my life.
Are you okay now?
Well, I mean, I think so. I just start sort of patting myself down and I'll let go of the sheet and start sort of, trying to smooth my hair. So yes, I'm all right, because we're here, you're here, I'm fine. Oh, how strange, a nightmare. How strange. I think I might need a cup of coffee.
And then Ruby instantly goes to get Loveday a cup of coffee, whatever she needs.
Okay. Do you go down to reception, or do you? There is a phone. There is actually a phone in the room. If you wanted to call down to the front desk.
Yeah, I'd rather do the phone call because I'm feared of leaving Loveday on her own.
Okay, cool. You get reception. They see cafe. See cafe con leche, or just the coffee.
Whatever your strongest is, we will
See.
have.
Okay, coffee. Okay. A few minutes later, there's a little rap on the door, and a young woman stands there. Everything okay? It's very late.
We're fine.
See,
Right, Loveday?
coffee? She looks a little confused.
Yeah, we're fine.
I think Ruby grabs the coffee and sets it over to Loveday.
Buenas
Oh, how
noches.
strange.
She kind of pulls the door behind her and heads off.
How strange. I just, I woke up and I felt sure it was morning and so I needed the coffee, but now it is still the middle of the night, isn't it? Would you mind terribly just checking, Ruby? It is still the middle of the night.
It is indeed. It is.
Well, I'll just have a bit of this, I think, and then maybe I'll read for a while. And Loveday is already starting to, I'm already sort of rationalising myself, calming myself down. It's fine. It was just a bad dream. These things, I've heard these happen to people before. They may not really have happened to me, but, I have shot a vampire today, so it's maybe to be expected. I'm just deep breaths. I'll have my coffee. I'll read a bit of my frothy romance novel, and I'm sure everything will be just fine when I wake up in the morning. And I'm very grateful. Thank you, Ruby. Thank you so much for taking such good care of me. I'm so glad you've come.
Of course, it's no problem. I think Ruby is sceptical of how Loveday is handling it, but does as she wishes and leaves her be for the evening.
Okay. So we'll say the rest of the night passes uneventfully. You wake up various times in the morning, various states of rest and calm. You prepare yourselves. It's a little too early for the hotel to be serving breakfast. You kind of need to be out and gone from the hotel before 7. You make your way over to the Hotel Maori, where you find Larkin striding up and down outside, pointing, gesticulating, giving instructions in what sounds like to you. None of you are Spanish speakers, but it definitely doesn't sound like the most comfortable or confident Spanish anyone has ever spoken. It seems to be punctuated more with volume and gestures than any kind of real meaning. But definitely there's a lot of intensity and enthusiasm in the instructions he's giving, and the drivers and the few hands he has assisting, they seem to be getting the drift, but he seems worked up. He seems not in good shape about something. Oh, good. Leave someone's here. Bloody de Mendoza hasn't been back. Bloody Petronilla is out of action. Apparently she's going to be in the hospital for a few days. Some damn fool incident yesterday. Her son's all in a lather about it. But honestly, I'm not in the best of form this morning. He's he's looking a little wired and energized. Doesn't look like he got a lot of sleep, but there's no pallor and sweats or anything like that. The blackness around the kind of veins in his arms you noticed before is still there. The kind of dark standing veins, it still shows as he's gesturing and gesticulating. Um, but he's got a boosted level of energy today, shall we say? So, I hope you're all ready. There's 3 trucks. I was thinking we stick 2 of you in each truck. Whoever wants to go up in the front with me, that's fine. De Mendoza was going to be in the second truck, and Jackson, I was going to have you in the third truck. Jesse, I was going to have you in the third truck. And then, however you want to split yourselves, but I suppose De Mendoza, if he's going to be a no-show, maybe he casts around. Uh, Florence, why don't you join me in the lead truck? Micheál,
Sounds lovely.
you take the second truck with whomever you like, and Jesse, you take the third truck. Just so we have someone of robust character in with each of the drivers. Someone who can, even if you don't speak their language, you can speak their language, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
And then, ladies, yes, I leave it to you to work out whichever truck you want to go in. There's not an awful lot of room in the front. There'll be a couple of hands in the back of each to help us with portage when we get to Puno. But it's quite a long drive, so we might take a little road stop along the way. But yes.
I think Ruby runs to Loveday instantly because she knows that Florence has already been taken and wants to see Micheál and Valentine together in a truck for a long, long journey.
Okay, so you guys start grouping off, and yeah,
I have a question for
yeah.
Augustus there. Is Mendoza around at all, or where's he?
Don't rub my nose in it now. He's a bit of a disgrace, and I'm somewhat in a lather about it. It's not a good show at all. He didn't come back to the hotel last night, and there's no sign of him this morning. The gents here haven't heard from him, and nor have some of my other acquaintances. I've been reached out to see if they can get a hold of him, and nothing. So you could say I'm a bit wroth.
Yes, that's
do you not think
really dreadful.
Don't you think he might catch up with us again? Should we, maybe myself and one of the ladies go up and gather up his stuff that we could bring it, and that way if he catches up,
no, I'd leave it to him and let him make his own way and let him solve his own problems. His bed, let him sleep in it.
Fair enough. Hey, one other question for you, Augustus. I was hoping I meant to pick up if I could a book on learning Spanish, but I didn't get to it the last couple of days. You wouldn't have anything.
Book on Spanish? No. As you can see, I'm reasonably fluent in the lingo.
Oh yeah, it's very impressive. All right, well we'll keep our eyes open, I suppose. Just something to do on the trip.
Well, talk to your driver. He'll, I'm sure, be delighted to give you some pointers and help you. That's how I did it. Chat to the locals. I learned that in Kenya. That's how I learned a couple. And he kind of pauses. His eyes widen a tiny bit. Yes.
Oh, you're from
Well,
Kenya.
I spent some time there. Yes, I talk to the locals a lot. I learned Swahili, a couple of other dialects. That's how you pick these things up, don't you know?
Were you on
Oh, fascinating.
an expedition
Look,
in Kenya?
it's time. Let's get ourselves moving. We can talk when we get to Puno.
All right, we load up, will we?
Well, pretty much everything should be in the trucks. You just really need to load yourselves up.
I assume there is food and water in the trucks.
Yes,
so do we need to make a stop?
there's some local sandwiches or whatever passes for sandwich in this neck of the woods, and there's a few canteens of water. It's I mean it's 800 miles, so we will definitely be stopping. Don't get me wrong. It's going to take almost 3 days, I would say. We'll be going down the coast to Kamana. This is one of the drivers to Kamana, and then up into the Andes and across the highlands. That's a it'll be a bracing drive, but yes. So we will be most likely sleeping in small roadside accommodation if that all pans out. Only if we make the miles, though. Otherwise, you'll be sleeping in the trucks. So I would suggest we get on the road.
Yes, let's sleeping in the trucks. No, thank you. Let's get going, everybody. Come on, load up.
Sounds quite
Very
reasonable.
good. Come on, Florence. Let's make tracks. Vaminos. Gestures at the truck and waves at his driver and gets a long-suffering glare. Obviously, these guys, it doesn't seem like they know him, but they seem to have picked up his type fairly quickly, and he's getting, you know, he's getting the yes. Look, let's just get the job done and ignore what the loud, ignorant man says. Reaction. But it doesn't fill you with great confidence for how the trip is going to go if he keeps behaving like this with the drivers. It, the charm that he displayed to you guys at dinner seems to be almost all gone, and he's same kind of personality, same mannerisms, but just order of magnitude different energy and vim. Okay, so we will zip through the first day of travel. We might quickly touch on if anybody wants to have any particularly interesting conversations. If anyone perhaps has a question for Larkin, if they're in a truck with him.
I would like to. Yeah.
Okay.
So, tell me, if we're going to be here for a while, tell me about your travels, your adventures. I'm terribly interested.
I've
What sort of
been
places have
around
you been
and
to?
about. I've spent a good bit of time in the Americas, especially down here in the south. A little bit of time in Brazil, but quite a bit around the Peruvian mountains, Bolivian Andes, places like that. Did a bit of time in Africa. I even
all
potted
over.
around Scandinavia briefly.
Oh wow, all over.
Wherever the I don't want to say mystery. I don't want to glamorize it. Go from dig to dig. There's a lot of graft, in this business, but
Are you often along with a team like ourselves?
no, it's the first time I have a a group of young creatives like myself with me. A lot of the time, it's musty old professors who just want to talk shop, don't you know, and get into texts and folklore and all that palaver. It's nice. It's nice to have like-minded.
Yes, I'm sure there's a lot. Yes.
He's back to. He's still. There's a good level of energy. It's persisting, well into the day. But he's back to like charming and very personable, very kind of relaxed demeanor. As the day wears on, however, he starts to look a little worn around the edges, maybe fraying a bit. And he does call for a stop for lunch in a tiny little village. There is conveniently I won't say a petrol station, but there is a kind of general store with a pump outside, and he pops in to use the gentleman's room. And again, when he comes back, there's a bit more of that life and energy and ebullience about him again. Anything else you want to delve into? Meanwhile, in the following trucks, it is a long, grueling, boring trip. The suspension is not really there much in these. Seem to be army surplus trucks. They're rugged and they carry the weight really well. They're probably quite economical, but yeah, they're bone shakers and quite wearing on the upholstery, shall we say. A lot of the bounce and bump. So Ruby and Loveday, are you guys going any deeper into your discussions of last night, or are we shooting the breeze?
So I think probably with that much time, a lot of shooting the breeze, but also how much English would our drivers speak? Could we reasonably have a conversation with them?
You sound him out. At first, no hablo, no, don't understand. But Loveday's infectious, never say die, happy, cheerful persistence, and oh, did you know? You realize that he understands, and he's got possible English.
So when we've sort of got to know each other a bit, I'd like to try and bring the conversation around to local folklore and specifically local monsters.
The country folk.
Well, yes, I mean, it's all ridiculous, of course it is, but I'm just very curious because we came across a very interesting museum exhibit that was talking about I'm going to look at Ruby and really hope she remembers the real names of the vampires because all I can think of are Karens.
Ruby can't help.
It's good exhibit in the museum, but no, you talk to professorios, they will tell you it's country folk. They have superstition. Some of them don't even believe in God.
How ridiculous is that? But listen, these there's a creature that we've heard of, and I know it's ridiculous, but I had a terrible nightmare last night. I did have a nightmare.
Oh,
I had a nightmare.
My nightmare.
About Yes. A terribly bad dream about these. They suck all the fat out of a person. They're very nasty.
Gee.
And I think I would just sleep better tonight, and I would be in a much better mood tomorrow when you have to drive me again for many hours.
Gee, that's
so you
good.
don't want me in a bad mood.
Yes.
Yes, I would sleep better if you knew how the local, the silly local people would fight them off.
No, you ask the locals. They're the farmers. But look, you have a good drink tonight.
That I can get on board with. Yes, let's do that.
Now, it's going to get bumpy in this bit. It's been okay now, but we're hitting the rough road, so maybe I don't talk for a minute or two.
Right.
And he seems to be aiming for a few potholes, and it's a pretty steady rattle and bump for a couple of miles, and then he eases back and kind of moves back onto the smoother tarmac, and he seems quite pleased with himself.
So Loveday has been on sort of expeditions and digs before, so this has probably not fazed her as much as he would like it to have done. So she's just clung on very tightly to the side of the seat and gritted her teeth and got through it. But she will turn around and just check that Ruby's doing okay.
How long do you think's left on this journey?
Too long. It's always too long.
2 more days.
How long?
2 more days.
He just lets out a very audible sigh and then cracks on.
Your friend makes great conversation. You should enjoy.
Do you enjoy it?
Oh, see. Click. Turns on the radio. Some nice local kind of really florid guitar music, and seems to get in his groove, gets a little bit in the zone, just focus on the road ahead. Meanwhile, in Valentine and Micheál's truck,
This should be good.
first few hours has been
With binoculars in the car behind.
The glass.
first few hours has been quiet, and the driver is very chill, just driving along, keeping to himself, not really engaging in any conversation. After a while, he does turn on the radio. You get some local radio station.
The countryside is very beautiful. Where are we?
No hablo.
Well, we're heading south.
Parlez-vous français?
Yeah? No.
I see.
He throws you a bit of a look, Micheál, like, what the heck is going on there? He gives you a wee take later on. He's like, go on, try again. Yeah, little nudge with the look, like, go on, try again. Because you answered the question, and she just completely carried on talking to him.
Oh fuck! I'm well used to
He's
it
like,
now.
God, again. He seems to think
trying to get
you
to
you want to talk to her, but she's giving you the cold shoulders. He's giving you a bit of a go on.
I'll play along. Do you know any jokes?
You say to him,
Are you asking
No,
Trevor?
to Valentine.
Well, no.
he is clearly trying hard not to laugh.
Do you know any jokes?
Why do divers always roll backwards out of the boat and not forwards?
I do not know.
Because if you roll forwards, you're still in the boat.
This is very silly.
He gives
But I do.
he gives you a very sympathetic look, Micheál. He's like, okay, I see why it's not going anywhere. And there's no more reassurance or encouragement from him. It's like, yeah, okay, I see why it's not going anywhere.
I was going to try and get learn a few Spanish words off him, but now I feel like it would just be rude. So I think I'll just.
So,
It doesn't seem very
after
friendly
lunch, as they're getting back organized, the trucks. Larkin's driver comes and gets in your truck. Yeah,
Our truck.
and he's
Hola,
gone up to
amigo.
the other truck. He's like, they seem to have swapped.
Oh,
Yeah.
they swapped.
Oh. Is this something that happens often?
You asking the driver?
Yes.
No hablo inglés.
Seems very strange that you all do not speak English, given that Larkin's Spanish is so terrible.
Sí. His Spanish is not very good.
So you do understand me.
But he's
You
It's
understand
easier if
my
he
joke.
speaks in Spanish. We cannot understand him easy.
So, how well do you know Mr. Larkin?
No, don't know.
Anything interesting happen on your journey this morning?
To the hotel, no. Got there. The Mendoza not there. Called Larkin.
So you know the Mendoza.
Nah, sí, poquito.
How come? How do you know him?
He came with the money.
Oh yeah.
He came to you with the money?
The company, he says something in Spanish.
Say that again.
I don't think you'll understand it if he says more
He
slowly.
says something in Spanish. But with more force.
Okay, got it. No.
Goes quiet again.
And
And after a little while, he's also starting to look a little. He's kind of glancing back across at the two of you. It's just like it's been hours of nobody speaking. He's been up in the truck with Larkin, where Larkin and Florence are basically nattering away to each other, and he's come back here because his buddy is I can't spend another minute in that truck. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He gets in, he's like, okay, I get it. Jesus, these two.
So, okay, I'll try. Valentine,
wait.
how are you holding up in the hot weather?
It's okay. It's a bit stuffy in this truck, and how you say the aroma of this truck is interesting.
I think that's your man.
Oh,
Because it wasn't like that till he got in.
oh, you are right. Oh, maybe the lunch did not agree with him.
Could be.
Just as well he doesn't speak English.
I don't know. He was doing all right a minute ago.
See, it's bueno, yeah.
Todo bueno. It's all good.
So, Micheál, after you left the army, what did you do?
Well, I went back to Ireland, and there was a fair bit to do there. For men who don't mind fighting. And well, then I sort of more got into the fundraising side of things. We needed money basically, So I got more into you could call it the administrative stuff. I've been around. What about, which part of France are you from?
I feel like you deflected away from my question very quickly, but
Jesus Christ.
I was trying to get to know you and your interests better.
Yeah.
As Ruby stated, we are to be friends. So I am showing the interest.
Yeah, so which part of France are you from, like?
Well, I spent a fair bit of time in Paris, and I came to New York several years ago. What?
Do you mind if I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Which part of France are you from?
It's a very complex question.
Right. Maybe I should drive.
The
I've
poor
tried to
driver
answer
is
it
practically
truthfully
having
in that.
apoplexy here. He's actually hunched
You
over his
understand what
wheel
this-
trying not to laugh. He's like,
Look, I tell you, I was stationed close enough to Paris, or Paris, sorry.
Ah, oui.
So I know up that neck of the woods a little bit,
Excellent.
Which arrondissement did you used to live in?
You may not have heard of it. It was the troisième et le
Well,
chat.
they're numbered 1 to 20 or so. So yeah, I've heard of the 13th one.
I know a good song.
Third one.
I know a good song in English.
Go on.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sing.
see.
Will
Nah,
you teach
see,
it to
yeah.
us?
He starts teaching you
Yeah,
some.
go on. Brilliant.
It's kind of a soldier song. It's a marching song, but it's not one of the ribald or rough ones. It's but you'd guess Micheál he's served in some kind of armed forces, because he does sing it like a soldier, but he's quite good, and it's nice, it's upbeat, and he's just doing anything not to have the conversation continue. that night, after dinner, you notice the three drivers go off to the side of the dining room, and there seems to be something disagreement happening, and drawing of straws, and then some quite florid arguments again. Meanwhile, the six of you, seven of you, including Larkin, have a quite nice dinner. It's all very muted affair. Everyone's exhausted after a grueling day traveling down the coast of Peru. The sun baking down on the trucks has not done much for your health. So probably nothing too exciting coming into dinner time. Do you guys stick around to have a chat after dinner, or is it let's just get to bed and see if we can get through the next day?
I'd say try to stick around and have a natter, if anyone else.
I mean, Ruby would
Me-
love
me-
to
me-
know what went down in the other truck, though.
Larkin has excused himself and is gone off to bed. Jackson has already kind of said, I think I'm a bit tired. Micheál literally pushing back his chair, and Florence, might be good to stick around and have a little catch up. Jackson kind of settles
Might
back
be
into
good
his
to-
chair. All right, you pick anything up from Larkin today?
Well, I think he's withholding information. I think there's things that he isn't telling us. When I asked him about collecting those artifacts, he seemed to he wasn't including all the same details as last time. He wasn't lying so much as evading. And when I asked him about past travels, he said that he'd never traveled. He'd only traveled with old people before. That he's never traveled with any young people. But I don't think that's true. I think he's lying. I think there's. I mean, I know we all know he's lying anyway. But well, we suspect him. But I don't know. I just think that there's lies.
Why would he say he's only travelled with old people? That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean,
Did he
surely if
mention-
he's gone on expeditions, he's brought other.
So that
Yes, it was
I
just all
just
very
wrote
odd.
mechanical repair by mistake, folks, just in case anyone sees that pop up. And Jesse's not trying to actually take anybody apart here. But he does have a little double take while you two are talking, and he's now looking at you quite intently, Florence, and waiting for a moment to cut in.
Why, did he mention any names of these old people?
No, he just said sort of like professor academic types. Like that's what he said. He didn't mention any names. I didn't want to push him too much.
Miss
But
Florence,
I sensed that something was off. Yes.
you seem quite determined that Larkin has worked with young people, younger folk before, not just older types. What's
Well,
that
surely
about?
that makes sense. If you're going on an expedition, you're going to bring some.
You don't strike me as the kind of person
going
who
to
makes
bring-
that kind of assumption with such certainty.
Oh well, you don't know me that well.
I find myself a pretty good judge of character. And leave it be. Enough said. Let's get another round of drinks before I put myself up to bed. He kind of quickly brushes it off and tries to divert. Drinks, please. Everything sits a little bit uncomfortable at the table. Jesse's like, actually, maybe enjoy the drinks, folks. Look, I apologize. It's been a long day. I'm gonna retire. I'm a little worn, as you can tell. Sorry for my pushiness, maybe. We'll talk in the morning. And he gets up and goes up. Larkin has not split the group up that much. You and Jesse will be sharing a room, Micheál. Larkin has 3 rooms for the 6 of you. He obviously has his own room.
Do you ever think that Jackson is hiding something?
You're so suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
I mean,
That's a question.
Well, in Valentine's defence, he does so often leave before the drinks have even really got here. He's done it almost every night. It's very strange. I can't think of a reason, so maybe he is hiding something.
It's possible that we drink more than he's used to.
yeah.
Now that
this
is
is the point
possible.
where the drivers are literally in the middle of a barney over the far side of the room and throwing straws about something. Not that you guys have any idea what that could be about. But,
So, what do you think that's about?
No idea.
Did anyone have issues with their drivers?
Well, we had a fantastic time with ours. He wasn't particularly forthcoming about anything useful, but we did notice that yours swapped. What was that about after lunch?
I think Florence must have been boring her driver. So
Oh,
he
we didn't
wanted
really
to back
talk
us.
to him. I was mostly talking to Larkin, and our driver didn't seem too distressed by our conversation.
Maybe he thought you were ignoring him and was insulted.
Because he taught us a song.
Oh,
Yeah,
What was this?
Ho there, ho there. It's great crack.
Ooh, she's very good singing voice.
Am I gonna have to beep that out?
You
I
know.
wonder. Will you two pick that up?
Micheál has one good word of Spanish and he's good at it.
Oh gosh. Okay. So do you guys get into anything material, or do you just shoot the breeze a bit longer? Or has Florence, have you been suitably derailed in your what you tried to bring up?
Yes, I think it's been quite a
That's what we call NPC sabotage. Sorry. Okay, so everyone beds down for the night. You all seem reluctant to go to bed for some reason. Next morning, again, you're rousted out of bed bright and early. Larkin sends the drivers to bang on the doors. Wake up, come on, wake up, out, come on. And there's not much of a breakfast. It's grab something wrapped in some newspaper and jump in the truck, and off you go. And we will assume that we don't have any deep, meaningful conversations to get into today after exploring the depths of everything yesterday. But I will say that today is a good bit of more of the same. Unless anybody tells me otherwise, it's another grueling day in the trucks. Um, Closer to the evening time, you realize you're starting to really ascend. It's like you're hitting the foothills of the Andes, and where you stop for the night tonight, it's more like a village, mountain village, than a town with a hotel or anything. And there's what you end up in is two kind of small, I won't say huts, but uh, pretty. So Loveday would say um, lower grade accommodations. Um, just about has creature comforts, has indoor plumbing, but that's probably the best thing you could say for them. There's a little calf where uh, the truckers and people like that go when they're on the road to and from Puno, um, and that's where Larkin has you have dinner. It's pretty meager. Um, Nobody is super enthused about the dining. Even Jackson finds it hard to say anything kind of positive and upbeat. He once again retires early, as does Larkin. Um, I would say probably unless you guys really are intent on finding somewhere to have a drink, you're probably going to end up back the little um, cottages. I don't want to say cottages because they're in the Peruvian mountains, but yeah, the little house that you have to share for the night. Um, Again, it's rinse and repeat the next morning. Bang on the door, windows, doors. Come on, into the trucks. Um, and this third day, you're going up, uphill, up. Now it's been pretty wearing and grueling trip so far with the heat and the humidity and the constant rattling and bumping and rolling. But now you're ascending into the Andes proper. And we're not talking about foothills and small mountainside. We're talking about going right up into the altitude of Peru. Um, I would like everybody to give me a con roll, please.
Which
So is that
Constitution,
Constitution?
yeah, sorry.
I don't know the lingo.
I think
Hey,
Loveday
hard success.
does, seeing her expression. Oh, okay, okay. Um, Okay, Ruby, you're okay. Florence, you're tough as nails, it seems. Valentine, also tough as nails. Um, Micheál, you're not feeling great. And Loveday, similar. Um, so basically, you have both been taken with altitude sickness. Okay. Thinner air and the higher altitude is causing you to experience a bit of tiredness, headaches, dizziness, shortness of breath, some nausea. Um, in most cases, it's simply an irritation and making you not feel good. But if at any stage we end up in a situation where you have to make a high degree of physical exertion or stress and pressure, Loveday and Micheál, you're going to need to roll your checks with a penalty dice. I will tell you when, and we'll go through how to do it if we need to. But you are, for some activities you're going to need to make a penalty dice. Um, each day you're in the Highlands, you can make a Constitution check to acclimatize to the thin air. Anyone who passed already, don't worry about it. But you are definitely not enjoying this Peruvian highland experience. But there is a lovely broad plaza in the center with neat greenery and trees, with the Cathedral Basilica of San Charles Borromeo. Okay, and that's where your hotel is, overlooking that plaza. So it's quite a pleasant hotel he's booked for you. But when you pull up outside, um, three of you are not, you know, you're not particularly enthused after the trip, and two of you are actually physically feeling nauseous and ill, and you know, maybe ready to lie down. Um, but it is still mid-afternoon, so if anyone wants to do anything, go visit anywhere, or talk to Jackson about what you're going to do now you've got to Puno, you can, or you could just take a bit of rest and deal with the morning when it comes.
I think Loveday would just go lie down for a while.
Okay. So you head straight for the hotel as the trucks are disgorging their passengers. You go, "Ah, hotel is there." Start walking, and uh, Larkin calls after you. Now, don't forget, morning. We're probably going to be setting off quite early in the morning, so it'd be great if we could go good to go at between 7 and 8. I've got some local guides and some burros to come bring us, and um, well, the chaps will be staying with the trucks, but the porters are going to have all the gear ready to follow along. Um, but I really would like you all, Miss Llewellyn, it would
I'm just going to nod and
please
just,
do.
yes.
Will one of you please make sure she's aware and ready in the morning?
I'll sort it.
Thank you, Miss Fontaine. Jackson kind of,
I want to have a quick
yeah,
word with
cool.
Jackson.
He's kind of making motions like he wants to kind of sync up in the hotel. Larkin gets you all kind of checked in, sorts that all out, and then he heads straight off up to his room. He seems to have something to do up there.
Jackson, didn't you say that your friend Nayra lived in Puno?
Yes, when are we going to go see her?
Yeah, I was gonna go over this afternoon. If you guys are up for it, we could go see her.
Yes.
Of
It's
course.
time is getting on now, but yeah, if we go now, we could see her. You sure after the trip you're up for it? You don't want to stop and get some coffee or? Do you think Loveday will be? She didn't look okay.
She's just a bit tired. She'll be fine.
Shall we?
Well, she may not be up to coming with us.
Hmm,
Are you
I'm
okay,
not feeling so
Micheál?
good myself.
are you okay to come
You
with us,
look a
or do you
little
wanna
bit.
stay with Miss Llewellyn?
I'll stay here.
I'll
All right.
come.
Uh, uh, try getting some coca leaves, or ask for some coca tea at the bar. It
Okay.
might help. It might mitigate the worst of the symptom. Uh, um, takes the edge off until you acclimatize. But yeah, don't feel bad about it. This happens to a lot of people. First time I was up in the Highlands, I was in bits for days. Well, let's mosey on then. I suppose not gonna stand on ceremony. She won't mind. She doesn't need me to freshen up before I go see her. uh, he starts moseying on down the street. Okay, so Micheál, we'll spend a moment with you. Um, are you just gonna go and rest? Are you gonna go talk to Loveday, or do you have something else you'd like to kind of do?
Cocoa leaves, cocoa leaves sound good. I will try that tea if they'll give it to me, and I'll bring some up to
Okay.
Llewellyn as well.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
lovely.
you go to the bar, you start asking for some coca leaves. Um, as you do, give me a spot hidden, please.
Success.
So you get up and you kind of move toward the bar as the others leave the hotel, and as you do, you notice, and you kind of, now you think of it, you saw them as you came in, but you didn't really pay any attention. But there's a Andean woman and her young son, you would say, maybe 13, 14-year-old son. They were sitting in the lobby when you all came in, and as your companions walk out, the two of them get up and follow them out. Not super obviously like stalking along behind them, but kind of keeping the distance a little bit, subtle, get up, have a quick look at each other, quick scan around, mosey on out after, making sure they're not kind of right on their heels. It's pretty clear to you that they're following them.
Okay. Well, then I will follow them.
Okay, super. Okay, how to derail the coca leaves adventure. Okay, back to our um, crew who are off to visit Nayra. Um, you go probably 4 or 5 streets through kind of little winding roads up the hill into the mountain, and Jackson stops at a nondescript little house on the side of the street, 1 story. Gives a knock at the door. Nothing, no answer. Gives a kind of harder. Nayra. Nothing. Um, spot hidden, ladies.
Had success.
Ooh, I was gonna say, Florence, you're distracted by Ruby, but actually, with a hard success, you're not gonna get distracted by a simple fumble. Okay, so Ruby, because you have a skill under 50,
Yeah.
when you get 96 to 100, it's a fumble as opposed to just 100 if your skill is over 50. So that 99 was, it could come at a worse time, but this, so you're kind of standing chatting to Jackson and maybe even asking him, do you think she's home? Um, Florence, you noticed as you're standing there that one of the neighbors had kind of opened her door and is kind of leaning on the door frame watching Jackson. And she's got a wry little smile on her face like she's going to say something. But as you're watching, as you're looking at her, you see down the street, you catch sight of Micheál. Just kind of, and he's kind of trying to be subtle. He's standing in to the side at the corner of the street a little way back. Just kind of, as you watch, he kind of steps back, realizing that, you know, no, you're not, the progression isn't happening, and so he's like, moves back a little out of sight. Micheál, you've followed this couple, these two. You came to the same street that our friends are on. The woman and the young boy have just walked straight past them, and you kind of suddenly realize you're either going to be following them past your friends, which could be a bit uncomfortable and awkward, or you're going to be getting greeted by your friends, which would be even worse because it could probably give you away. Or so you've kind of maybe taken just a momentary step back to kind of go, okay, well, what should I do now? So what do you want to do?
I will attempt to continue the pursuit. I suppose let the distance stretch out as much as I can. Maybe my guys will get out of the way, but if need be, I will just go past.
Okay, so you're gonna give me a contested sneak roll, please. And you are rolling against the spot hidden of both your friends and these two. I am going to roll in secret. No, I'm going to roll ours. Well, I could roll yours in secret too, but no, I'm more. I prefer your kind of slightly more exciting. See what happens when you roll, and then we'll see what happens with them.
Wait, so it's stealth, is it?
That's it. Yeah. Is it stealth or sneak? Yeah, it's stealth. Sorry, my bad.
Aye, not so good.
Florence. You kind of see Micheál as this woman steps out from her doorway and go, "You're Jackson." Yes, Jackson. Elias. Yeah, that's me. Nayra has gone to stay with friends. Things were uncomfortable here. She needed to have a holiday, have a break, maybe. Oh yes. You kind of looks around, glances around, almost a little paranoid, and I'm gonna give him a spot hidden. He has a little look both ways, and then his kind of eyes widen a bit. And he goes, maybe you could talk us through it a little bit. Could we come in? See, come in, have a cup of tea. I tell you what Nayra said to tell you. Oh, she left a message, did she? And he goes to follow her in, kind of again looking back and forth behind him. Florence, you see Micheál furtively moving up the street, kind of trying to be have a couple of locals between him and you guys, and just kind of mooching on past you as if he's not like totally. He's just walking by. One of the locals, not even here. Don't be suspicious. Not doing a particularly good job of keeping himself concealed. Ruby and Valentine, however, you guys did not clock this because that was the original spot hidden, was the resisted, the contested spot hidden. Okay, so that's what he was rolling his stealth against. But Florence, you get the feeling that Jackson has also clocked him.
Yes, I'm going to. Florence thinks that that's odd, but he's clearly trying something, so I'm not going to blow his cover, and I'm aware that I seem to be the only one out of the ladies to have
And
spotted.
you don't want to be the only one who's seen
Um,
something again?
And I don't want to be the only one who's seen something again. I don't want to be accused of insanity again. I've had enough of that. So actually, that's a relatively not crazy thing to see, not traumatic thing to see. So I'm going to file that under bring up later, and I'm going to carry
So you
on.
guys go into this lady's little cottage, and she brings you in tea. Anyone want some tea? Kalka tea? A bit of Indian tea? No, Jackson. Yes, I'd love a cup. I'm larking all of a sudden. I'd love a cup of tea, please. That would be very pleasant. She has a little pot already boiling on the hob, and she pours a little bit of tea for herself and himself, while you three stand there a little uncomfortable, kind of going, why are we in this strange person's house who doesn't seem to even know who Jackson is? Anybody want to broach that or ask, or
How did you know who Jackson was?
he's not many people look like him in Puno. We're not like Lima, where there's plenty of people from everywhere. Mostly local.
So you don't get a lot of visitors through here?
Not so many. So, Mr. Jackson, Nayra, she said to tell you she's going to stay on the island on Lake Titicaca. She was worried after she spoke to you, she says. Oh, well, that's not good. Thank you very much for telling us. He looks to you three. Would you three mind coming with me to go see her? I fear maybe talking to me has put her in danger.
Oh, then yes, we should
Of
go
course.
see her.
Good. Look, when we go out, if you see your friend Micheál, just pretend he's not there. Pretend you don't see him, okay?
Oh, he's trying something.
What?
He's following
Micheál?
a couple of locals for some reason. I don't really know what he's doing, but definitely there's a couple of locals I saw back at the hotel, and I just saw them on the street again. And Micheál seems to be following. He's not doing a great job of it, but just pretend he's not there if you see him.
He's a very strange man.
Yes, but I'm sure he's planning something. So let's ask him later and leave him for now.
Okay. Maybe the altitude sickness has gotten to him.
Perhaps, but he can look after himself.
Okay.
Okay. So the four of you set off. Jackson and you three set off for the lakeside to make your way to uh, uh, some island in Lake Titicaca. And Micheál, you have continued up the street. You didn't.
Yes.
You don't think any of the rest of them spotted you, but Jackson did seem to. He was acting a bit funny. He seemed to head into the house he was going into pretty quickly. But certainly the two people you're following did not react. They don't seem to have noticed you. Okay.
Grand.
However,
Need to follow.
they get up to the street corner and they stop, kind of loiter on the street corner, watching the house that Jackson went into, which leaves you now kind of in a weird limbo, just past the house Jackson went into with your friends, and not quite as far as them. And they're looking straight past you, and they could spot you at any moment. What would you like to do?
Well, I'll just approach them.
Okay.
Yep, I'll walk right on up there and look around like I don't really know what I'm doing.
Okay. So you walk straight on up to them, and there's the boy looks at you, takes a little double take, and nudges the woman. The woman looks at you, and her eyes widen. And we'll come back to you in a second. Okay. Back to Loveday. You've gone up to the hotel room. You probably got a cool cloth or something. You're having a lie down, bemoaning the lack of a fainting couch. And it's been a long and grueling day. In fact, it's been a long and grueling week already. You're not sure you're enjoying the climate, at least, if not everything else. And there's a gentle tap at your door. Home service.
I will just get up off my bed and sort of stagger open to the door. It's the last thing I want, but I'm assuming, like, I'm not thinking it through. I'm just thinking, yeah, of course, I've probably ordered something.
Okay. Open the door. And Mendoza is standing there.
I knew it.
And we'll see you next week.
I'm leaving with the cliffhanger.
Oh, what a place to leave it.
Do you know what? I had this horrible feeling, but I was like, she just wouldn't. She wouldn't think anything of it. She'd just stagger over. I didn't even pick up my hand.
That's the moment that she wouldn't be, what should I do? Let's be it's seriously, what's going on? Yeah, no, perfect moment. I love it.
I feel so ill. Just leave me alone.
Super stuff. Thank you very much, everyone. I love that. Loving how much progress we're making. Still, as I said earlier, we made some really good metaphorical ground this week. Some very interesting moments, particularly some of the reactions to the dreams. I was very entertained by, and our interpersonal ground seems to be covering a lot of mileage as well. I definitely think there's a real burgeoning friendship coming between Valentine and Micheál. They just haven't realized it yet. But yeah, definitely we're all having fun. Certainly plenty of laughs, and hope you guys at home are all having as much fun as we are, and you're gonna keep watching. Subscribe if you want to keep track and know when any extra content drops or anything like that. But in the meantime, let's see you next week, and we'll see what happens to poor Loveday, who is stuck all alone in the hotel with a Karasiri. Could she actually beat Morven to having the first character down? I don't know. It seems to be a close race this week. No, I'm sure everything will be fine. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you next week.